We got to get to a place where when I quote you something, it's correct. And by the way, if you make the driver wait an extra hour, yeah, that's on you. If you didn't weigh it properly, that's on you. But as far as the class stuff, we got to get that right.
And I think shippers it's too confusing for the person who's actually doing shipping. It's I completely understand. If you're making the driver wait, obviously that's on that. If they don't have the right weight, the right dimensions, that's on them. But going out and figuring out, essentially a law book of what these classes are and what they should be, and trying to navigate through it, like it's nearly impossible, right? And yeah, you can use AI, you can use ChatGPT, you can use all these different things. They have a pretty good sense of what the classes are, but even those systems are getting confused because there's redundancies in the writing as it is.
It's funny when you have a system in place, it's just not easy to pull it. It's just like, you look at our keyboards here. Our keyboards were designed so our typewriters wouldn't jam. It deliberately slows us down. But when we moved away from typewriters, we still use these old keyboards that are deliberately slowing us down. And I feel like that's what happens when you end up with a standard. It's really hard to pull it out. But yeah, there is another way you can be classless, like Daniel and the guys over at Warp. I'll throw in another issue that is consistent in LTL. When I was doing LTL, sometimes I'd have a customer say, "You absolutely positively can't stack on this product." And we would say, "Oh, okay, well, we'd rather you package it in a way that it can be stacked on," because the LTL companies, their profit is based on, I got to fill this truck. I want full trucks. Everybody shipping wants full trucks. And to say, "Oh, I'm going to ship this cross country without it being stacked on, or now I have to put it at the top," it's a problem. And by the way, we all used to put those cardboard cones on top of our package to make sure no one stacks it. It reminds me, I was in Laredo with a company I was advising, and I said, "Come over here, look at there's all these." There was somebody sweeping up the terminal, and there's a whole bunch of these cardboard cones that were crushed. I go, "That's what happens to your cardboard cones." So your guys back in the Midwest, they put the little cardboard cone on, and this is what happens to it. Somebody stacks a pallet on top of it. And it's just really not in the LTL carrier's business to say, "Yeah, I won't stack on your stuff. In fact, I'll just, if I have a whole bunch of customers who want that, I'll just ship my truck half full." It's difficult for them. And I know people are trying to come up with shelves and stuff. I know that's a possibility, but it's not easy. Now with your model, it's a little different. Please explain why you guys can accommodate no stacking a little better than the traditional LTL companies.
Yeah, so we don't stack any pallets at all. And I would say that's just, a big part of our business. It makes our pricing a little bit higher depending on which, what exact pallet that you're shipping and things like that. But at the exact same time, it relieves a significant amount of potential damages. It relieves a lot of issues. I think for 3PLs, it makes things easier to discuss when a customer is asking for you, because Warp does not stack pallets, period.
So even if you said, let's say I got a 53-foot truck over in New York and it's going to LA, are you shipping that all the way across the country? No stack?
No stack, unless the customer is stacking it by themselves. I mean, we're not, if a customer decides to stack pallets, we just charge that as one pallet. And it's not up to us, about those. But we are not stacking the pallets ourselves.
Yep. And then the local delivery is typically going to be what? What kind of vehicle is going to do the local delivery?
A box truck nowadays. It used to be very frequently with a cargo van as we were building up the density and things like that. In some markets, that's still the case, but the vast majority of our deliveries are happening on a box truck.
So the box truck is dock high.
Yep. Dock high, lift gate, driver assist, all of those things are included by default on every single delivery. So that's what makes us a pretty good choice for delivering malls.
Lift gates on all of them?